Okay, this is an interesting one. It's actually a vision within a vision. She's having a vision and of herself dying, and as she's dying, she's having a vision in the vision. And she's not the first person that's ever happened to. If you study this type of thing, you'll see that people have dreams inside of visions, and visions inside of visions, and dreams that they fall asleep and have a dream inside a dream. And I think it probably has something to do with frequencies. You know how the Bible speaks in all frequencies simultaneously. You know, the voice of God is as a rushing waters, that he's speaking in all frequencies simultaneously. That's why we find Bible codes that is equidistant lettering sequence, the ELS codes that you'll find. You know, whatever it is, every 70th letter in the Torah is Torah. It's Torah, you know, and so forth. And you can find all these different Bible codes because he's speaking at all frequencies, not just surface level. And you know, if you read the Bible, that you read it one year and you know, or you pick it up and it's got that specific message for you, and then you'll read it the same passage 2 years later and see something so much deeper, and you know, and so forth. So anyway, I think that's probably this vision within a vision or a dream within a dream has something to do with depth or frequency. You know, I don't know. That's just a guess. But so here we go. This is what she says. One night I was asleep. In my vision, I was very sick and I was taken to a hospital. As I was laying on that hospital table, there were a few people around me. One of them was one of my sisters, and I knew I was going to die. But I was terrified, and I was reaching out to my sister, telling her, I don't want to die. Please don't let me die. As I was telling her those words, I heard a very clear voice saying, pray for peace. So I started praying for peace, and all of a sudden there was a warm feeling in my body, and I received such peace at that moment that I wanted to die. I was waiting and wanting to die. So in my vision, I died, and my soul came out of my body, and I can see the people in the room talking and myself dead on the table. I felt a hand holding me, and we flew to heaven. There it was so peaceful, and I was saying to myself, I never want to leave this place. I never want to go back. See, I had an out-of-body experience that I had seen hell and then had the heaven experience, and it's the same thing. Like, you don't want to go back. I looked at my body, and I was like, no way do I want to do that again. So anyway, she says, and she was thinking, you know, I never want to go back. I was able to hear the person holding me, but not see them. I was shown my life as I was growing up, a few glimpses. It was like a projector, but there were no equipment. It was just projected in open space. After that, I was shown things that I knew were going to happen. By shown, I mean my spirit was actually there in the events. And that's weird, because if you've had visions, then you know the difference. That's what it's like. It's like you're in some alternate reality. It's like you're there. I mean, yeah, I've seen maps and been shown like visions like that, but these out of body type experiences, when you come back here, this feels like a dream. It's like, okay, no, that was real. I was really there. I really experienced that. So I know exactly what she's talking about. Anyway, she says, after that, I was shown things that I knew are going to happen. And by shown, I mean my spirit was actually there in the events that are supposed to happen. I was standing in what was like a war zone, and all I could see were bodies with blisters and in pain and reaching out for help. They wanted to die. They just wanted to end their pain. They couldn't bear it, but they couldn't end it. It was so real and vivid. That's what scared me so much. A second event, I was in an area and people were running to hide in caves and mountains. As I remember, I saw some other events that I remember. Oh, as I remember, I saw some other events, but I don't remember them now. But the last one was at a beach. And from the west, I see a person, and on the east, another person from a far distance. And when these people saw each other, they ran to each other and hugged each other and cried. But yet they didn't know each other. Excuse me, I'm still getting over that cold. They ran to each other and hugged each other and cried, but they didn't know each other. I knew that in the dream. So then I knew that very few people will be left alive on earth. After I was shown these things, a voice said, "You have to go back and witness what you saw." And I replied, "I don't want to. I don't want to leave this place. I don't want to go back." But my soul was returned to my body, and I woke up on that hospital table that I was on. And everybody ran out when I woke up because I was dead, and they were afraid. And that's when my vision ended, which is interesting too, because people have been raised from the dead, and Christ was raised from the dead. And in the end times, when it talks about, in the book of Acts, it talks about the little girl who was raised from the dead and all these people who were raised from the dead. And so if there is an outpouring of the Holy Spirit in this sort of post-apocalyptic world that we're talking about, and people are raised from the dead to carry the testimony of Jesus Christ, then she was seeing, she could have been seeing from that point of the outpouring of the Holy Spirit that she was raised from the dead, and she died and then saw what was coming, in the near human extinction in the future through the Great Tribulation. So it's fascinating. It's just fascinating. And she said that it was so real, and she was so scared that she couldn't think or eat for 3 days. And she said even though she was assured that God was trying to show her these things, she didn't want anything to do with it. And she said the next day she went to a prayer meeting, and another guy at the prayer meeting came up out of the blue, not knowing she had this vision within a vision. And he told her that God had told him that he knew she was scared, but she had to do it. So there was her confirmation. So that's it. That's fascinating. That was Ninetta. Does that sound right? Ninetta, Ninta. I'm sorry if I just massacred that pronunciation. Ninta. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And, we know the apocalypse, it's written, it's going to happen. So it's coming. And God's warning us and warning us and warning us and warning us. And the outpouring of the Holy Spirit has begun. And that's what all this is. So, it's an eyedropper compared to what's coming. But it's coming, folks. We're coming. It's coming. God will rise. And the glory of the Lord will rise upon his people. That's what it says. So he's always faithful to his word. I love you guys. Be encouraged. God bless you.